What's going on, you guys? And welcome back to Stranded Alien Dawn. First and foremost, that's where I'm supposed to be. That's where I was. Okay, I did an entire hour block, and my voice didn't record. I don't know how that could happen. But I did 3 recordings that night. The first one, not a problem. Second one, and the third one, absolutely no commentary. Again, I have no idea what's going on. I went and did a little test recording a moment ago, and voice was just fine. So unfortunately, we have to replay this entire hour block. On top of that, I had to delete my Borderlands 4 playthrough. You guys haven't seen any of it, but I had several videos up. And the way that game's save file works is it auto-saves. So as you progress, well, it saves over everything, unfortunately. It's a bit of a headache. I plan on recording that at some point. Maybe once I get done with either this playthrough of Stranded Alien Dawn, or once I get done with my playthrough of Jurassic World, which just got up to 3-star on one of the parks. Fantastic progress being made over there. Just 5 more parks to get the 3-star, and then they're 4 and 5-star variants. And then if they have any challenges, I might partake in those. But for the most part, I just want to get the campaign. And I'm taking my time with the campaign. I'm trying to make enclosures that look okay. My spinal enclosure, don't look at that atrocity. I was, playing around with a couple mechanics. It's not for me. The terrain building, it's not for me. Yeah, I am going to try and at least make some decent enclosures or work with whatever they give me. Get that park up to those 5-star ratings. Get that all secured. Do all the research. Do all the fossil hunting. All the things that you want to have. And then ultimately, I'm going to go into my sandbox and I'm going to make the perfect park. It's going to take me a long time to build that one. Because that's going to have terrain and all that other good stuff worked on. Maybe some waterfalls. Who knows? We'll see. So I have that planned in the future. The sandbox, I might wait a little while for that one. Like I said, it's going to take me a little bit of time to create, which means, months and months and months of work. I could go into the, what's it called? I don't use it very, creative mode. I don't use it very often, so I don't know what to call it. Creative mode. It's something you would find on Minecraft. So, I don't like using creative mode. Obviously, it's cheating. It's a waste of my potential. And by a waste of my potential, I mean, what I could potentially learn. You're wasting your potential. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to concentrate on this portion of the ceiling. Maybe even get some of the bedrooms done. I had some of the bedrooms done in my last little hour run of this. It seems like every time I record something goes wrong with my console. I'm not understanding it. Hopefully all of what I'm saying is getting through to you guys, and I don't have to re-record another hour's portion of this nonsense. But I'm going to push forward with my commentary. If something does happen, hopefully I can remember everything I said. Alright, moving forward. So, my first bedroom ends right about here. So I'm just going to go ahead and plot it out. Go over to housing, go to wall, cycle over to concrete, and then I'm just going to divide it like so. Then the same with these ones, just so that I have a rough understanding of where they're at. Same thing over here, and just a slight little division. Alright, and then 1, 2, something like this, and then I can run this one kind of like that, so I have a rough idea of how big I want the room to be on the interior. Something like that, and there we go. Perfect. Now let that all cook up and craft out. And while that's happening, I'm going to select this portion of the ceiling as well. Get it all squared away. Like I said, this video, we are concentrating on finalizing or at least attempting to finalize the reconstruction of the stone ceiling to concrete, as concrete is significantly stronger. On top of being significantly stronger, it's going, I know I've said this in several videos, but for those of you that this is your first time tuning in, the reason I am upgrading to concrete is I need to put up a solar roof. You know, free power that I don't have to worry about wasting resources on repairing, ever. You know, I do have some power. I can show you here in a moment. Go ahead and pause the game for a second there. As I'm trying to highlight, they're constructing, which is setting it all off, messing everything up. So here's my power. I have wind, and I have solar, and I have a screaming baby. Too bad this isn't Monsters Inc., because I would have power for days. I kid you guys not. If I could hook my kid up to a screaming machine, I know power of laughter is so much stronger, but hook this kid up to a screaming machine, and she'll power an entire city for the rest of eternity. I promise you. My ears do not lack for the sound of ringing. She's a squeaker. I joke that she's part mouse. So with that out of the way, hopefully she doesn't squeal too much. She does have stage 3 autism, global developmental delay, and she's battling leukemia. Oh, poor kid. She's going through it all. You know what? This little girl has more energy and more willpower than I've seen in many of my battle brothers on the field. This little girl runs circles around them any day. So that's a little rough draft. Once all of this is upgraded to concrete, I will then start adding in the rooms. One thing that I can also potentially do here, and there she goes. What I can potentially do is outline, most of what I want to do here. That's room 1, that's room 2. Where does room 3 end? Right about there, okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to increase this. No, I want that little walkway, I suppose. Yeah, I want that little gap. There we go. Yeah, that little 3 gap right there. It'll allow me to have room to place down some turrets temporarily for housing purposes. I don't know what I'm going to do with this space on the interior. I mean, since I don't have any plans for this, I could utilize this as my power storage. Since I can turn them sideways and it'll only take up 2, it gives me a walkway of 1 to repair either side, and that gives me room for quite a few of them, actually. All of what I have and then some extra. Oops. Can I grab you, and can you disable those turrets for me? They are draining me dry right now. I'm about to be out of power because of them. Empty in 4 hours. It's 5 o'clock. Oh, thank God. It's about to, sun's about to come up. Go to some power generation. Go ahead and have it for your music night. That's one thing that I will never not allow them to have. My little one just having the time of her life. Oh, I thought I had all this selected for reconstruction. I did not. So it sounds like we're going to have a video with squealing in it. So my apologies if you are... if the squealing gives you tinnitus like it does me, please either A, turn down the volume, or just turn off the volume altogether and put on the subtitles. So If you put on the subtitles, I do warn you, I do create new words quite frequently. You know, my native language. There we go, already starting. So my native language is English, and I don't speak it very well. I almost said very often. I don't speak it very well or very often, I suppose. I am a recluse. I'm a shut-in. I keep to myself. So the only one who really hears my voice is my inner monologue. Thank God I can hear that guy. I'd have nobody to talk to. No, I kid. I have a wife who barely puts up with me. At least that's what she likes to say. Let's grab this, stretch it down to here, and drag it on over. Creating those little gaps just in case my people get stuck in there, they can get in and out. Not a problem. Now, before I can do anything with the ceilings, I have to wait for a couple things to happen, actually. Go ahead and actually... Yeah, I have to wait for a couple things to happen. First and foremost, the ceiling needs to get upgraded so I can then put another concrete ceiling above it. And then once that happens, I can move the turrets up to the next level, where I plan on storing them for future conflicts. And there. Looking nice and neat. And the one thing I did have a problem with, is it selected onto there now? I fixed the problem. I fixed my problem, I think. I fixed my problem. Wow, that's that's only a handful of bugs this time. Game's being generous. What is this? This almost never happens. They're always sending me enough animals to, lag me out. Always sending me at least 350, at least. What is this? 225 plus 27? That ain't nothing. 252, or 250, yeah, 252. That ain't nothing at all. Well, at least she's living her best life. That's the only thing I care about. So, a month ago, you wouldn't even have heard her. Not a squeak out of this mouse. Okay. It wasn't until about 2 weeks ago that she started getting her energy back, which I am grateful that she's getting her energy back, but she's starting to run on the ceiling again. Yeah, not fond of that. Not fond at all. She's climbing on things, she's getting into everything. She's back to her old self, more or less. Go ahead and reactivate. No, you're not going to do any bench work yet, buddy. I need you to turn on the power switch before you hit the grind. There we go. Hopefully all of my voice gets recorded in this one. If it doesn't, I'm going to throw my controller through a wall. Let's hope that doesn't happen, because this is a good controller. No, I'm not going to throw my controller through a wall. I'm not that, what's the right word? I almost said dumb, which, that's kind of the right word. Immature. I'm not that immature. I can control my... I laugh when I say control. I can kind of control. I wouldn't say it's really control, but, once I notice that I'm getting angry enough, I put my controller down, because I know the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to throw it at the wall. So there's some self-control. That guy, Mr. Powers, Will, he's a good buddy of mine. Not as good as a friend as I wish I had, but yeah, Will Powers, he's at least there. He saved me many dollars. Oh yeah. Unfortunately, he's not always around for me when I need him. The things I've done in Rage, and broken a controller before, which is why I don't throw controllers anymore. Plus, I can't afford it. Not that I would if I could. I can... Yeah, just leave it at that. There's nothing in this world that can get me angry enough in a video game for me to physically break something in the real world. Now, am I going to go into that game and try harder and, take it out on you after I've learned how to get better? Oh, I am most definitely going to. Because that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, it's a video game, you guys. I mean, look at this game. It's giving me headache after headache after headache, and here I am still playing it. I've lost my sanity in the process, but, that's a different story for another day. Really, really love. Why are you breaking my carbon doors? Really love the missile turret. I think I'm going to add a couple more. And then line some flak behind them. Or off to the side. We'll see how much power I'll be able to get over my roof. Sorry, I'm sorry for the lack of commentary there for a moment. I'm thinking. Usually when I'm thinking, if I talk, it's a bad idea. I was either train of thought of what I'm saying, or what I say is an incoherent mess. So I'm deciding to slow it down a little bit on this channel. Not speak at 100 miles an hour. My brain doesn't function as fast as my mouth wants to. So. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have front facing. I'm going to try and use this back ledge, because this isn't where the ending of the rooms is going to be. And this is going to be a hallway. And I'm still going to have some sort of cover here, I'm sure. But I'm going to have the panels facing downward, so the highest point will be in the back here, and then have them slope down. If I can, I want to try and get the corners to match up, but it look really nice and clean. Although it's not going to be perfectly even, as this side is thicker than that side. And I think this is thicker than this. There's still going to be a couple problems here and there, but nothing I can't manage. Hidden undraft. I'm just curious. Is it going to be what I want it to be? Is it going to look the way I want it to look? They do give us quite a few options when it comes to the building styles of the roof, so I'm sure I can come up with something that I'm pleased with. But yes, for the remainder of this video, we're going to try and get the rest of this here upgraded as quickly as I can, without Vicente dying to a singular bug. There we go, send the drones. Find those last couple few. Hunt you down. Butchering process and let them just have at it. And then the last 3. 2 there, 1 there. Of course, they only send 1 drone. Why do they only ever send 1 drone? What is this? Send multiple, you guys. Send the entire fleet. I wish they would. It'd make my life easier. I don't know about you guys, but the sound of a 10v1 versus a 1v1. I prefer the 10v1. Unless it's against me, then I'm going to want the 1v1. But if it's in my favor, give me that 10v1. There's no way we could lose that way. But instead, they prefer the 1v1 method. That's AI for you. Let's hope they don't become self-aware like Skynet. And then, Terminator ensues. And then the world's just bones and ash. I mean, to be honest, if it gets to that point, we only have ourselves to blame. And another animal dies. Where's this one at? This guy? Or girl? There we go. Let's go ahead and butcher you. Give me some meats. Then I only have 1 left. And then I'll never have to worry about the sound of death again. Yay! I wonder why nobody's getting to like each other enough to want to marry. This is really unsettling. And it's an amazing all-star cast what I have here. Every single one of these individuals was perfect for my needs. Besides Vicente, I mean, I'm not doing a trading outpost mission, so I don't need his extra funds. Though he's an amazing farmer. Yoko's a great cook. Edmund is Edmund, unfortunately. Simon is Simon. And the rest of them, amazing. Katina, she does all the healing without failing a healing check, so you'll never have any of those negative effects. Ken gets twice the scrap. Rita, when you send her out on an expedition, she has a chance of learning something that you don't currently have available on your map. And Samantha, I forget why I grabbed Samantha. I think because she's a combat specialist. On top of that, she had decent intellect. And I guess I kind of wanted somebody besides my usual lineup. Instead of Samantha, I'm accustomed to running Krista. Because in my opinion, Krista's the best intellect in the game. Occasionally you'll get that bonus on the research production when she is researching something. She can get insight, which boosts the percentage, so you can be at 70% and boom, instantly done. Amazing ability, especially with those end game researches that take 5 days. You only have to do 3 days, sometimes. But I always run Ken. Always, without any doubts, I always run Ken, which I need to get out of that habit. Like I said, the reason I run Ken is he's less easier to break mentally. He starts to have his breakdowns. You just go kill some stuff, and he becomes happy again. The scrap, and the fact that he's a really good combat individual. Great for base defense. Great for early metal games. So I always run him for that. But we'll see if I end up doing a solo run. It sounds interesting. I would like to do one. I guess what it is just becoming more confident with the game, truly understanding all the mechanics before I would want to do so. I need to employ each mechanic within my playstyles before, obviously do it all, and you gain confidence in doing it, and then you strive for the harder challenge. With that in mind, I think I might go for the hardest difficulty run. Not sure yet. Too bad I don't have a PC, because the way I want to record it is I want to record it all in one go, and then do it as like a supercut. Get all the videos released one at a time, then combine them all into a large video. Honestly, I would like to do all of my videos into a supercut, mainly to eliminate video clutter on the channel, and consolidate all of my videos into a single video. Just seems a lot easier. Although me going through and adding timestamps is going to be a bit of a pain, if you ask me. But I would love to get a PC. That's my next step in my gaming adventure. Still stuck on the console, unfortunately, using a plug-in mic, well, plug-in headset. So I feel the headset is decent enough. Now it's not no studio quality mic. I'm first and foremost a disabled veteran and a father and husband. I have responsibilities. I wasn't given all of my equipment as a child by my parents. Which, two of my siblings do recordings, and both of their setups were bought by my parents. Now, they offered to buy me one. I turned them down. The reason being is I want to afford my own stuff, okay? That's the individual that I am, the kind of person that I am. If I can't physically get it myself, then I don't have the right to it. That's why you'll never see me driving around in a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a Bugatti, none of that nonsense. I mean, even if I had the money, I wouldn't. It's just a waste, especially for a vehicle. I mean, oh, I gotta show my status. Oh, you gotta show everybody that, the thing between your legs is, a quarter inch. Yeah, we got it. We got it. That's the only way you get laid because you've got no personality. Whereas me, broke guy, got married. Happy. Don't need any of this, fame. None of that nonsense. Oh, honestly, luxury is, it's a foreign concept to me. Started in the ghetto, still in the ghetto. Though it's a slightly better ghetto. I can actually afford the things that I want to eat now. Too often I hear all these people out here saying how bad their life is, living at home with two parents. Oh, you got grounded for a week. Oh my God. You got hot food in your belly every night. Able to take a shower whenever you want. Clothes that you get to pick out. I didn't have those luxuries. My childhood was go to the food bank, stand in line for some rice and beans, a bunch of food that was out of date at the local food banks. And then, the best part of all of that was actually getting the 7-Up little cake that they made back then. It was delicious. It was like the highlight of my time being there. You get these little peanut butter and jelly cracker sandwich things, absolutely foul, but you eat it because you're hungry. Unsure if that's going to be your meal for the day, or if you're going to get another meal tomorrow. Your clothes, hand-me-downs from your uncles, because you're the oldest kid, and then you hand them down to your siblings. Video games? No, video games for me was I got to watch my uncle play them. Same age as me. He was actually a little bit younger. But my early gaming life was watching somebody else play. Wanting to play myself, but no, it's my console, you can't play it. That kind of nonsense. Would I give my childhood up for another one? Probably not. Why? Because it made me who I am. Without those early criticisms, those early struggles, I wouldn't be as grateful for life as I am now, I guess. I've seen the worst in mankind, and I constantly see the worst in mankind every day. But I still have hope. Because I've seen and lived worse than what I witness. Was life a little bit easier back then? No, yeah, it was more simple. Being poor, you didn't have to worry about as many things, as many bills. Having power was, well, you didn't really have it on at night. Didn't even really have it on the daytime either, because I was out playing all day in the sun, riding my bike, living a good life. Or at least trying to. No, this isn't an oh boo-hoo story. No, this is me sharing some past experiences. Not crying about them by any means. No, I am grateful for my past. My past shapes my future. Or at least it helps shape my future. It gives me the tools that I need to progress forward. Yeah, I had a rough life. Still having a rough life. But you know what? I wouldn't change it for anything. Here I am, struggling every month, grateful for life, and then I hear about these rich people like, oh, my life sucks. Okay. Sure it does. No, it's just your perspective. You're so used to getting your way. You're so used to living a certain way. I get it. You gotta spend millions of dollars every day. Feel good about yourself. Not you guys who listen to me, obviously. None of you guys probably have $1 million. If you do, good on you. No, don't spend it. You don't get rich by spending it. Though if you want to, give me a under the table job, doing something from home, hit me up in the comments. Let me know. I'll take some side work, so long as it's under the table. No, I'm kidding. I can't work. I wish I could work. Well, it really depends on the type of work. But I can't work with others. No, God, no. Not unless you want me to throw some hands. Because honestly, I can't stand people. Which is why I'm a shut-in, a recluse. I keep to myself. Interesting turn of conversation here, if I do say so myself. Talking about my life. Yeah, whenever I hear anybody say, "Oh, my life was so bad," I sit there and I chuckle because I think the first apartment that I lived in, my mom told me a story. I was about 6 months old and I was crying in the crib. And she comes into this apartment, or she comes into the room in the apartment complex we're living in, Southern California, mind you. And there's a rat in my crib. That's how ghetto I'm talking about with the ghetto. I'm not saying, oh, I live in the suburbs kind of ghetto, okay? You rich little suburban middle classers, okay? You don't live in the ghetto unless you got cockroaches and rats living in your house. That's the kind of ghetto that I'm from. It's not because you're dirty, it's just because, Southern California is dirty. I'm not going to even sugarcoat it. They got so many problems down there when I was living there. Hopefully they managed to get it all sorted since then. But when I was living there, it was a dump. Absolute dump. The city, of course, that I'm speaking about is Long Beach, California. Right there on the coastline. You got some oil fracking that happened, or is it fracking? Well, there's some oil that they pump from the ground over there. Yeah, pretty miserable place. At least from what I remember. It's probably improved since the 90s. Yeah, back then there was roaches and rat problems. Yeah, good times. Not. Let me take a look, see how long I've been recording for. Ooh. That was an awkward time to have a hiccup and need to burp at the same time. Let me see. I wonder how much of the concrete they've actually got placed into the ceilings. I really want to start working on the next step of this facility here. So, the bedrooms are going to stay over here. However, in another playthrough, I'm probably going to split the bedrooms up to like the various corners, giving them some space in between, giving them their own homes. On a big old compound like this. This is a lot of wasted material that I don't necessarily need. So another thing that I'm going to look into is size reduction. Especially with how big I've built here, it does help contribute to some of that lag. And I feel it every time I get attacked. So I'm going to try and take care of that here in the next couple of videos. Well, not take care of my lag problems, but take care of this. Get this facility built up. Sorry, I was trying to say two different thoughts at the same time. It made it happen. My apologies. But no, I'm going to try and mitigate the size in another playthrough when I get to it. And then I'm going to try and get this done over the next couple videos. Getting at least the walls up, and maybe if I'm lucky, getting the ceilings done. I probably won't get the ceilings done. I'll start getting them done slowly. It'll probably take, 3 or 4 videos to get them all done. I do have all of these furnaces pumping out concrete just non-stop. So we're getting there, you guys. We're getting there. But once the solar roof is in place, my next task is going to be adding in more of these batteries for surplus energy. I wonder if I can even set some of these up to be on certain switches. It does not look like they do. Okay, that'd have been cool. Like I could set these two generators right here just to power the turrets. I could have a generator or two just to power these. You know, that'd be an interesting concept, not gonna lie. However, it looks like the power is just the power. Now, there is a workaround for that if I wanted to, but it's a little more well, it's not really so much complex as removing a lot of my power poles from certain facilities. Honestly, I think once you get to a certain tier, I think once you get like stone, it just travels through. Because yeah, look, I don't even have any power back here, but we got power over this way. So never mind, that's a bad idea. So what I would do is I would have to have an entirely different building away from the normal power and have its own power to do individualized power. A bit annoying, so I'm not even going to bother with it. Yeah, I'm going to use this for my power, at least initially. If I outgrow it, I'll think of something to do with it, obviously. I don't think I'm going to add doors to these walls here. If they want to go up and into things, they'll have this right here, which, if that's the case, oh, I would still need this walkway to go fix the power, so never mind. But what I can do is this right here. Do that and prep, just a little bit of prep work. And honestly, I could even use these this back wall, or even this wall, one of them, to have extra space. Since I don't plan on putting in the walls, it's just going to be a dead zone. And I could put in a door from like over here or something. But as for these little portions here, I want to put, I think, the kitchen at one of them. And then, I'm not sure if I'm going to put the kitchen here, if I'm going to put it here. But one of them is going to have the kitchen. The other one's going to be the surgical facility. And then this is going to be more storage and a slightly better crafting room. More crafting stuff, since I'll have power for it. So I'll have more crafting, more smelters, more automated. Really start stockpiling. Uh-oh. Please don't tell me anybody. Everybody's out, lovely. Okay, the aggressives are over here. Alright. I have way too many bugs on the field. So first things first, garrison up all of my robotics. It's gonna be a pain. Garrison up every last robotic unit, aside from the Air Force. I'm gonna let them hang out where they're hanging out. Alright, Yoko. I know you're assembling a sniper rifle. I appreciate you for that, but I need you up on this roof more than I need you assembling a sniper rifle. You other guys, hurry up and get in here. Oh, we don't have time to mess around. There's almost 700 bugs on the field right now. Oh my god. And they're all out front of my base. Oh, good lord. This is going to be a fun little endeavor. Are my turrets on? Yes, they're on. Thank god, I'm going to need them. Is everybody else back to base? Ken and Vicente are just pulling in now. Okay, perfect timing. Vicente, get up off the floor, dude. Him and Simon are both out. And if you want to go to bed, go for it. I don't care. So long as the enemy comes where I want them to come. Pause. As long as the enemy moves where I want them to move. There we go. That sounds a lot better. Oh my lord. And here they come. Just a massive wave of red. If I was a survivor on that roof watching this happen right now, I'd probably be crapping my pants. Look at all these bugs coming in. There's just no end. And they're just marching over the traps, not getting stuck. What's going on here? I need to see a sea of blue. I'm only seeing a sea of red. And as you see, speeding up does absolutely nothing. So for the sake of not blue screening or crashing, I'm going to pull back a little bit. Reduce that render a lot. And now we wait and pray. I'm really going to be upset if it doesn't record my voice this time. I'm not going to know what to do with myself. I've gone through all my settings, made sure that everything was, working correctly. I even tested my voice to make sure I could hear it in my microphone a moment ago before recording this. So if something happens, like I said, I'm going to be extremely upset. I mean, it's the reason I had to delete a Borderlands 4 playthrough, because the audio just stopped working on my end. Which, if my headset is finally taking a crap, I don't know what I'm going to do, you guys. I don't joke about, being poor. Well, not really being poor. I don't joke about not being able to afford all the niceties in life. Like, if my headset breaks, I'm probably not getting a headset for like a month or two, at the very least. I've got expenses. But we'll do what we have to do. If that means that I gotta take a temporary break from YouTube, I mean, there's nothing that I can do. It's all out of my control. I'm not gonna sit here and, whine and gripe about it. I've always been one for rolling with the punches. Using what I've been given. I'm not complaining about what I don't have. You'll find that you live life a lot easier that way. Oh, the sea of red. There's so many. I think even the hungry pests are filtering in. Some of them are still outside the wire. Yeah, I think some of them came in here. Yeah, look, there's one right there. The hungry pests have moved into the trenches. I have almost 700 bugs going through my traps as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. Look how slow that missile is moving. Look how slow. I could almost outrun that. Obviously, I'm not outrunning a missile, even at that speed. But, that should be moving so much faster. This is 3 times speed, not half speed. Honestly, they're moving at about 1 time. I'm not sure if that's a glitch when there's too many bugs on the field. Yeah, this is starting to happen more and more. The degradation to the... what's the word? The correct movement? I'm trying to figure out how to say this correctly and not sound like a dumbass. But I guess that's not going to happen because I already sound like a dumbass. The pace that they're moving at. They're moving at a 1 times pace. They should be moving at a 3 times pace. Yeah, that's right. And we're finally starting to pick apart their numbers. After all of this, they're finally beginning to die. And she's still awake and screaming. Oh, Lordy. Lord, give me strength. Why are you blowing up the wall? Shoot this way. No, we're going to pick on the walls. They're not. They haven't gotten very far. But this side is threatening to potentially push up to right here, maybe even further. I'm almost tempted to send in the Air Force, but there's still a significant amount of bugs on the field with half HP, so I'm not going to chance it. We're just going to sit here and watch as they slowly progress through the death traps, through the field of misery. Why are they backtracking? On the roof, everybody. They're not supposed to be backtracking. Push forward, bugs. Turn around, all of you. Turn around, go the other way. Why are they still going that way? Are they trying to get to this? Well, they messed up and decided to go, oh, that's the furthest they've ever gotten. They might actually hit the first turn on the return. It's going to be close. It is going to be close. But it looks like the traps hold out. And maybe they are finally starting to really push me here. But yeah, and that's what they were moving for. They were coming to the choke point. I'm funnel all fire down the central corridor. I need to upgrade this. There's no way they should have broken through the singular fencing here. But there we go. Everybody's taken care of. Undraft all. And back to our regular broadcasting. How far along? 47 minutes? Contemplating here, you guys. Yeah, I think this is a perfect place to go ahead and halt. I have a lot of work at resetting some traps. Got a decent amount of the ceiling done. Like a decent amount of it, actually. Look at all that. Nearing completion. One step at a time. Lots of progress being made in this under portion. Another video or two, and the bedrooms will potentially be completed. And then I'll get to work on the kitchen space and the... do I even have it unlocked? Nope. I'll begin these two. I need the surgical tables, so get that assigned next. Really gonna get that work underway, and then finally, probably the video after that, the crafting room, and then the long grind of getting in metal and sending out expedition after expedition after expedition to try and find extra scraps or fully built metal alloys or hopefully fully constructed carbon nanotubes. But we've got a long grind ahead of us, which I've already prepped for the gasoline at least. Lots of gasoline. I am ready for this. I cannot wait, you guys. A couple more videos and this solar roofing is going to become a reality. And then it's just easy street from there. There's nothing else I'll have to do except for sit back and watch. Yeah. So if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to smash the thumbs up for me. It really helps with the channel. It helps me, flutter in your algorithm for a little while. If you have made it this far, do yourself a favor. If you are unsubscribed, hit that subscribe button. I mean, I've obviously entertained you for the last 50 minutes or so, and I'm bound to do it again. So you're only doing yourself a favor and increasing your mental, I guess, if you're getting some laughs out of this, you're increasing your mental health. You're increasing my mental health too. So consider hitting that subscribe button. And that's all, you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. You guys take care and you stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later, guys.